Hi, welcome to my channel Brainy Bulls. This is Mohan Kumar. I'm a full-time trader and have been a technical analyst for over a decade now, exploring various technical aspects and experimenting what works and what doesn't in different market conditions. I had recently posted a promotional video on an intraday strategy course that will commence from April 19th onwards, and this video is a follow-up to the previous one that outlines the contents of the online webinar. In case if you're wondering as to who I am and what this course is all about and why choose this course over a dozen others available in the market, please do check out the promotional video as it might have some facts that grabs your attention. The YouTube link for the promotional video can be found in the description section below. Before I dive into the webinar topics, let me do a recap of the course details. The course is titled as Nifty Futures and Options Trading Triple Threat Intraday Strategy. So the strategy that will be discussed in depth on this webinar is a unique one that's built on three key elements, namely momentum, market participation, and the location of the price. And it is a high performing strategy with a win rate over 80%. The course will be conducted online via a Zoom meeting session, and the duration of the course is roughly estimated to be around 6 hours. The course will be beneficial to both beginners who are completely new to stock markets and to those who already have some exposure to stock markets and are actively trading. So this is an end-to-end course that covers topics right from the basics such as charting, etc., to advanced topics such as technical analysis, price action patterns, trading psychology, etc. The course is priced at 20,000 rupees per person and will be a private one-to-one online session. So the reason to have the course privately done instead of doing it in batches or groups is due to the fact that no two persons are starting from the same place, right? And no two traders are alike, and no two business people think similarly. Hence, I will tailor the contents based on your exposure to the stock markets. That way we can be more efficient and use the time, in a productive way. So here's the comprehensive list of topics. So it starts with introduction to stock market trading. The estimated time for this lesson is going to be around 30 minutes, and we would cover some of the questions like why choose trading as a career, why do intraday trading over other formats, why to trade in index futures and options and not in equities or stocks in cash market, right? Why Nifty options is the best instrument to trade, and who's best suited for trading. And we'll move on to lesson number 2 to cover the trading foundations or fundamentals. The estimated time is going to be 90 minutes, and we would cover topics like market structures and cycles, price action patterns. We will look at the Nifty charts for most part to understand the price action patterns, and we'll then talk about stocks, futures, and options. We'll discuss on candlestick charts and the candlestick patterns, different patterns available, and why is it so important to understand the key patterns, right? What's the significance of those patterns? And we will talk about charting essentials to understand how we create charts and also different platforms available to create charts. And of course we will cover most of the technical indicators, which is the core of this particular webinar. The next lesson would be the strategy, which is like the futures and options triple threat intraday strategy, right? And the estimated time for this particular lesson is going to be around 2 hours, 120 minutes, right? And we will cover topics as like introduction to the strategy to understand what do you mean by a triple threat. Why do I call it as triple threat, right? And then we will get into the charting and indicator setup for this particular strategy, right? And then we will talk about trade entry and exit setups and the rules, based on which you make an entry, you buy and you sell, right? You enter into trades. And then we will look at a lot of example charts, based on for different setups and for different patterns, and see how we execute a trade, based on the signals that the strategy generates. And then we will look at the option strike prices. We will of course talk about different strike prices like in the money, which is ITM, at the money, which is ATM, and out of the money is OTM, right? Don't worry, when we talk about options, you will get to understand what all these terms are. And this course is actually, it's going to be a very simple and a straightforward one, and it'll be very easy for you to understand. Regardless of whether you are a beginner or you already have exposure to stock markets, it doesn't really matter. It's going to get you started with all the information that you really need uh, to become a professional trader, right? And the next lesson is going to be on the brokers and trading platforms. The estimated time for this particular lesson is going to be 45 minutes. We'll talk about different brokers and and trading terminals that are available in the market. What's demat account and trading account. How to get one opened in case if you don't have one already created or opened. We'll talk about different order types. It is through the broker's terminal you're going to place orders, you're going to take trades. So we need to have a clear understanding about how the orders are placed, what are different types of orders available, and the option chain, because if you're going to trade in options, you also need to have some understanding about option chain and open interest. So again, so please do not worry. If some of the terms are completely new to you, you don't have to worry about it, because since this is going to be a private session, we can always get into in-depth discussions of some of the topics that you don't have any exposure at all. Okay, so we'll also look at how to generate reports like profit and loss reports. We will see how to actually deposit funds into your trading account and withdraw funds out of your trading account, and we will talk about brokerages and taxes, and of course the margin requirements for you to take a trade. The next lesson, lesson number 5, is on trading psychology, and the estimated time is about 45 minutes. So this topic is by far the most overlooked one, but one should understand that it is your mindset which is going to determine whether you're going to be a successful trader or not. Now, you might have all the money in the world, you might have the best infrastructure, and you might even have a holy grail strategy which has over 100% win rate. But still you may fail, and you may not be a successful trader if you don't have your emotions in check, if you don't have a proper process and a proper plan that you stick to, and you execute the plan without any deviations. If you do not have a focus, discipline, and self-awareness about what you're doing when you're trading every single day, you're going to fail. And how and why it is important to set expectations and goals that are realistic. And above all, having a disciplined lifestyle is a must if you want to become a successful trader. And so we're going to end this lesson by talking about 6 pillars to become a successful trader, right? And lesson number 6 is going to be about setting up your trading business, and the estimated time is about 30 minutes. And we will cover things like computer hardware and software requirements, what charting platforms and tools you might have to be getting a subscription for, the kind of money you need in your trading account to get started, best practices. Like I'm going to give away do's and don'ts based on my 10 years of experience. I think this is the smartest way for you to get started, because you spending another 10 years of your time experimenting with your own money, and then understanding what works and what doesn't work is a costly route. Rather, you learn through my experience. That way you could save a lot of time and money, and you can easily get started and become profitable from month 1 onwards. And also I'm going to give you hints about what books to read and what YouTube channels to follow on a daily basis, so that you could stay current with the market, right? And the last lesson is of course going to be the questions and answers session. You would have a lot of questions. I think this session is going to be very productive. This 30 minutes is going to talk about what you understood about the entire course. You after you spending 5 to 6 hours of going through the various topics, this session is going to clarify most of the doubts, and it's going to connect the dots for you. But you don't have to worry. It depends upon how much you absorb during the 5 to 6 hours, and it's going to take some time. It depends upon an individual's capacity on how much one could digest during that 5 to 6 hours. Having said that, you still get 1 month of support, a dedicated support on a daily basis, and you will be given 90 days Nifty charts on a 3-minute time frame, and those every single chart will have clear markings of the entry and exit, the trade executions based on the strategy, right? And you will clearly understand the patterns that we discussed during the webinar, and you will also understand about various setups based on which you take trades, right? So those 90 days worth of charts will be an eye opener, and you will have tons of questions, and that 1 month of support is very crucial for you to be being so attentive and active. You can get all your questions answered, and you can gain confidence and become independent, right, at a very short period of time. Perfect. uh, Now we've seen the list of topics that we will be covering in the webinar. You should also understand that these topics were not listed out of the blue, but rather it was carefully crafted based on my 10 years of experience, playing with real money in the markets, going through tons of videos in YouTube. I can't even remember the number of videos I might have watched, right? The amount of books I would have read, the number of vlogs and blogs I would have gone through to actually understand every teeny bit of information, for you to be trading in the stock markets. I might have formulated over a dozen strategies, and I might have scratched off some of them because it was not simply working all the time. And the current strategy which I have formulated and which this webinar is all about, the triple threat strategy, is an amalgamation of lot many concepts that I've been following for the last 10 years. Right? Even the smallest bit of information that is present on this particular webinar, right? Especially the kind of setups you trade, the kind of indicators that I've created to be used on the strategy. It is all based on my 10 years of effort and hard work, right? So it should not be overlooked. And I certainly believe that every information and every fact that you will be going through in this particular webinar is going to be an um, eye-opening one. And I still remember back in 2013, right? I was asked to pay 50,000 rupees for a basic stock market course, right? It was that expensive to get started in stock market. And of course, these days things have been made simple, but even today, 50,000 rupees towards a course is an expensive deal. There's a lot of competition around. There are a lot many courses, and if you open the internet, if you especially if you go onto YouTube, you would be overwhelmed to see how many people are willing to offer courses, right? But I can certainly guarantee you that this course, it's very unique. I've not come across any strategy or a course that gives you this in-depth information. And I truly believe that the concepts that are covered in this particular webinar are completely unique, and every single penny you spend on this course is worth. It's a good investment. It's going to be a good start. So I truly believe that you would prefer to go ahead with this course, and please do contact me. Drop me a message, to my WhatsApp or email ID, right? And let's get started. Thank you so much for your time and patience. Bye, and take care of your loved ones.